Okay, guys, so today I want to talk about tools that narcissists use to manipulate you. And I've got like a wild river sound in the background. Excuse me. So my idea was, I'm thinking also too of Ollie Matthews. I really like the stuff he used to talk about. So when it comes to, first I'm going to give you my perspective on tools of the narcissist, and then I'm going to go through a whole bunch of memes. We're going to go all over the place. Hopefully this video get past 20, because you know, magic 20 and all. Maybe I'll put it on my other channel. I don't know. So, with a narcissist, if you watch them, like if you start to notice like something's off, and hopefully you've started to do a little research on gaslighting and things like that, that's actually how I found out about narcissism. And we could call it a duck, we can call it a goose, we can call it a seagull. But regardless, it's all the same, and they're doing the same types of things. So, once you start to realize like something's off, like the way they compute and things, you know, watch them thinking, it's always what's in it for them. And honestly, that statement gives me pause many times, but a lot of times I think I overanalyze everything. So they're always in the back of their mind, they're collecting data. That's the first thing they do. They love to collect data. I would tell any woman or man, regardless, if you go on a first date, and I'm no romance expert, but if you go on a date and the person that you're talking with is asking you like insane amounts of questions, that's something to be a little careful of. I mean, you should be asking some questions, but if they're especially like if they're asking questions that are like breaking down boundaries and things, just be careful. So they're always computing, like a little computer, like how they can get what they want. What's in it for them? How can they use you? Because that's what they do. They do not have the ability to not use people. That's the only thing. I mean, not the only thing, but it's one thing that they're very, very good at. So when you come upon these narcissistic people, whether they're covert or overt, and the covert ones are the ones, honestly, they're scary. To me, they're very scary. And I mean, you've got all different types of traits and things traits that would qualify as like some type of psychopathy. Like, I don't know, they have something new now. I always thought of the dark triad. Dark triad is not someone you want to be near, to be honest. I personally think the dark triad is really, really close to the psychopath. But there's so many different things that can, what do you call that? Like comorbid, like they go together. So you got these weird vibes about this person. You're like thinking, okay, something's off. They're asking like a whole bunch of questions. They're asking questions about you that they have no business asking. You just met them. And they will always have tools in their little tool belt that they pull out for manipulation or control. For example, you might have a family member or a friend that is trying to take control of your money. And be careful, because it's always masked in concern for you. It's something to be really, really careful of. So that's their tool. Let's say they fix it so that your work paychecks go straight into their bank account. Not your own bank account, their bank account. It could be a woman, it could be a man, it could be a family, it could be anyone. And ultimately, one of their goals, because there's so many of them, one goal that they have is they want to see you in a bad way. They just want to see you like down and out. They want to see you broke. They want to see you overweight or underweight or unable to get any help, unable to get a good job, whatever it is. They really want to see you in a bad way. Like that's one way that they get their narcissistic supply, or some people say fuel. And if you're good at sensing energy, like I'm good at sensing energy, you will feel the evil. You will feel it. Oh, I just got something in my eye. Oh my gosh. So, sorry you guys. I don't know what I just got in my eye. It's like I put cayenne pepper right in my eye. Anyways. So they always have like so many different tools. And they're always, when their little computer brain is going, they are thinking about how they can manipulate you, how they can get something from you, how they can get sex, which is supply, how they can get your money, how they can get you fired from your job because that makes them feel really good about themselves and makes you in some ways weaker. It's a never-ending abyss, honestly. It's like this abyss that just keeps going and going and going, and it never ever stops. And they really want to see you messed up. Like they live for it. They absolutely freaking live for it. I believe a lot of people have passed away because of this abuse from people. It could even be a workplace. And I wish there were ways that these types of people could be, that they could be arrested and tried for these things. Like, for example, people that subtly will tell you, oh, you'd be better off DEAD, not here. And they keep telling the person they're abusing over and over that. And then eventually something happens, they get sick or self-deletion, whatever. But back to the methods of control. And what I really want to use, the terminology, I want to use the tools of the narcissist. Because they always have so many. And I believe they've refined these tools from childhood. Regardless of how they became a narcissist, it was started in childhood. I don't always think, I'm going all over the place, you guys. I don't always think that a person who was a narcissist was always badly abused. I think some of them are just given everything and they're like never told no, so that's entitlement. There's a lot of ways that they become these narcissistic people, narcissistic psychopath, or just a plain old everyday psychopath. So let's say, oh, you know what? I'm going to steal a little bit of this information. I don't know. I think I watched it on TikTok. This story. I don't remember the lady's name. She's a young lady, real pretty. And I think she was engaged to be married to this guy or something. I don't remember the whole, but she's in this romantic relationship. And it's kind of weird, actually. Her fiance's sister was really jealous of her, which that's kind of odd. It's weird, you know. And the family was planning on going on this really amazing, beautiful trip to Greece or something like this. And she was like so excited about it. And the tools of narcissism, it's coming up. So this nasty woman, the sister, stole her passport. So the whole family was ready to go, and she could not go with them because she could not find the passport. So she was crying and she was all upset, and she spent a lot of money for her part in this trip as well. So she's all worked up, she's crying and everything like this. And I don't know how it came to her, but she kind of knew. She just had this feeling that it was a sister that took her passport. So sure enough, this is the tool of the narcissist. I mean, they're always... So the tool of the narcissist could be anything. So in this case, it was the passport. So she just has this really strong feeling that the sister took it. So sure enough, she's in the residence where the sister lives. I don't know exactly if she was living with the fiance or what, but she's in the place where they live. And she finds her passport underneath the girl's bed or something. I don't know how she knew where it was, but she found it. So she's like, oh, hell to the no. I didn't put all this money into this trip, and I'm not going to go on it. So I don't know, this took a lot of guts. I thought it was cool what she did. So she and she can't let on and let everybody know that this girl took the passport. One, everybody's going to deny it, or they're going to say, oh, you set her up, or it's always going to be something, right? So she calls her dad, and she tells her dad what this bitch did. And then her dad, so funny to me, her dad was like, oh, hell to the no. So her dad bought her a ticket to go to meet with them, in wherever they were in Greece. I think it was Greece. I don't even know how I would act if I put all my money into a trip to Greece and that happened. I don't know. So she shows up, and of course the sister's acting. She just in shock, and she doesn't say anything, which I think was the smart thing to do. And I don't know, somewhere in it, she, I don't know, I'm trying to remember exactly how it went. She wound up doing the same thing to the sister. She let the sister, fly back to wherever they were at. But then she took the sister's passport. She hid it, she didn't do anything, terribly bad. It was just funny. And then, in the end, she wound up not staying with this guy, I think because he was going on the side of the sister, or whatever it was. But, man, that shit was funny. But they always find something. And, I mean, what a, perfect way to, make it that nobody's going to suspect the sister, right? You know what I mean? It's so evil and sneaky. So, in that case, the tool was the passport. But they have this, uncanny way of finding how to get to you. When I was younger, as a child, there was one person that used to push my buttons. I didn't understand all this stuff anymore. But, as I got older, I was like, oh, wow, now it makes sense. There were certain things that would really upset me. And it never failed, this person would always bring it up, to get me all worked up. But then I think in my early 20s or maybe my mid 20s, I was I just stopped partaking in the stuff, you know what I mean? But, you know, at the end of the day, they want you to look bad, regardless. No matter what it's about. Maybe you just graduated from tech school and you're so excited because you worked really hard to graduate. Your family's going to be there. You're super excited. And the narcissist will make sure that they ruin everything. They're notorious for doing this at weddings. So, I mean, I guess the tool would be, you know, making a scene. I mean, tools don't necessarily have to be physical, but it's always to mess you up. And I'm not going to get into sadism today, but we all know that sadism can go with this. And those are the people to watch out for, man. Because they freaking love to hurt people. And I would say a lot of the times that I've had to deal with these kind of people, they enjoy hurting animals. And you guys know what's up with me, you know. I'm trying to think of another tool. Oh, I know one. Since I was just talking about holidays and weddings and stuff. One would be, let's say you're getting married to the love of your life. You're just so excited. Your mom's excited, your dad's excited. Everybody's just like on top of the moon, you know? And, you know, you've invested, your parents helped you to buy this beautiful dress for the wedding. And it's fitting you just perfectly now. You lost 5 pounds or whatever you needed to do to fit just right. You're just like, you're in ecstasy. And one of your relatives that's jealous of you marrying the love of your life and getting all this attention, because that's the supply for them, they somehow figure out a way to get your wedding dress maybe sent to the wrong place, or they screw up the payment somehow. They're just able to manipulate, and then you're not able to get your dress. Like they just can't help themselves. They have to hurt you. And when you're crying and in pain, oh, they love nothing more. And that, I guess that's a little sadism right there, but so in that case, the tool of the narcissist would have been getting your dress, you know, so that it's not ready for the wedding. They just love to mess you up, man. One tool that I personally had to deal with is I know you guys have all been through this, the performance evaluation. Oh my God. And I'm really thankful I didn't have to deal with that crap at every single job I had. And I've told you guys I was a nonprofit. I don't care if people believe me. I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. Because it bees like that. But now that I look back, it's kind of funny. But, you know, they will say my name. We're concerned about your performance. I'm laughing because it's like, there's the tool. They're so concerned, everybody. Well, anyways, this particular job I'm thinking about, they wound up firing me with no notice. It was like one of the best things that ever happened to me. But at the time, it was really painful for me. But that was it. Like, they were leading up to it. And I think I might even do a whole video on this one day. I don't know. A whole video on how some workplaces hire people just to fire them. I wish that was a joke, but I really believe that. So in that case, it was a performance eval. And looking back, the signs were all there, but you know, I was a little tiny bit naive. So they always have a tool. So we're gonna go to this little meme here that I've had here forever now. Non-narcissist versus the narcissist. A non-narc sets boundaries, and I would say a healthy person. And everybody's got little issues, but you know, a healthy way of, you know, existing. Narc gaslights. Anyone who's been in a gaslighting storm, you will be very confused. And I always tell everyone, if you're confused, that's a sign right there. Okay, non-narc apologizes when wrong. Yeah. Well, and I told you guys how I feel about apologizing. It just depends on the situation. If I messed up, I'll say I'm sorry. Blame shifts. It's never their fault, you guys. And that's where the distraction comes in. They're going to, I didn't sleep with 3 women and give them, STDs. It wasn't me. I'm being a little bit, like a little bit over the top, but just using that. A non-narc does not lie. Well, yeah. Narc will lie and cheat. Yep. Non-narc honors the relationship. Yeah, like staying faithful to your partner. I mean, that's just one. Narc is self-serving and grandiose. Check. Go on some of these social media and look at like some of these folks constantly posting selfies. And I posted selfies, but like they take it to the next level. And I always get weirded out by that. Non-narc works for what they want. Narc plays the victim. Yeah, I would also say too, like these perpetual victims. Yeah, perpetual victim is someone to watch out for. I had to deal with that the last few years. And it's just like a constant reminder why I stay to myself. But, I know there's good people out here. Okay, a non-narc loves you. Well, that's it. Narcs love that you love them. Yeah. And I always say, too, they love what you do for them. Period. Non-narc celebrates you. Yeah, watch, you know what? This is a really good one. Watch when it's your day, like when it's your birthday, when you graduated college, when you had your last day of chemo or whatever. Like, watch how they act when it's your time. Excuse me. A narcissist will sulk. That's just one thing they'll do. So that's what it reminds me of, celebrates you. Okay, a narcissist resents and envies you. Facts. A non-narc acts responsibly. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. A narcissist acts like a child. You know what's something to me? That really catches my attention when you have people that are adults and they act really like a teenager. Yeah, I don't think that every single person that acts like a teenager is a narcissist, but it's possible. Sometimes people just don't develop fully, because of the abuse that they suffered, but something to watch. A non-narc values family and friends. Well, there you go. A narc craves superiority. This reminds me of one person I was around and they had to constantly tell me how dumb I was or how I didn't get it. My favorite one was that I can't sing. And I'm an okay singer, but that was one of my favorites. I have like hundreds of people over here telling me I'm a good singer, but he's like, you need to let it go. I was like laughing. So that's just typical. And they love to put you down for what you're good at. They freaking love it. They love it. A non-narc listens to hear. So, a good listener. A narcissist, you have to listen to them. Yeah, oh my God. You guys ever been in the room with them when they're like, I'm talking. Ugh. Non-narc enjoys intimacy. Yep. A narc demands sex from you. Yep. And they love to break the boundaries there too, which is sexual abuse. A non-narc respects themselves. Yep. A narcissist's sense of entitlement. Oh my God, they're so entitled. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. When I was younger, I used to say, I forget exactly how it worded, but it's like, they always expect everything to be given to them. But I didn't know what entitlement was, but that's exactly what it was. Spoiled people, spoiled kids, nothing's ever enough. And as sad as it sounds, I don't think every single person that's entitled is a narcissist. It has to come with, all the other traits. Okay, let's see here. Narcissistic manipulation tactics. And I think tactics can be tools as well. And that's weird too, because that's intangible. That's not something you can hold on to, but, still a tool. Revenge seeking, facts. Guilt tripping, it's always your fault. It's always, 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 always your fault. And I was telling you guys, I had interactions with people in my family, and I had this epiphany, and I realized everything was always my fault. It was so crazy because I'm a little older now, and it all hit me, and I'm like, wow, that's wild. Because nothing's ever their fault. Hoovering. That's something to watch too. I mean, honestly, I think at this point in my life, I'm almost hyper vigilant with these things. It's so hard for me to trust people. And I'm working on that, but hoovering. Hoovering is like, the Hoover vacuum. They want to suck you back in. Last week they berated you in front of, all of your friends and family and called you a whore and a slut and everything else. And then next week they'll be coming back like, are you busy? It's unreal. They'll act like nothing happened too. Silent treatment, we all know what that's about. And I also think too, silent treatment goes just exactly with ignoring. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but when I'm out and about and I say hello to someone and they just totally ignore me, I just start laughing. Unless they have a problem with their hearing. But I already know what it is. It's just like, imagine being that screwed up in your head that when somebody's like nicely just saying hello or it's a nice day and that person completely ignores you. That's just freaking rude. Unless you're on the phone or, your kids are needing your attention, that's different. I just start laughing. Isolation, we all know. We could go on and on about that. One of their favorite things to do is to separate you from your family members. Like if you have a healthy family. Now, if you got narcissism all in your family, of course they're going to do that. And then that's the triangulation too. But isolation could be moving you way up to the middle of nowhere, moving you to another country, or just cutting you off completely from your family or your friends that care about you and love you, because that's their favorite. 7 manipulation tactics of narcissists. Silent treatment, ignoring you to nourish. Punish and control. Yeah. 2, gaslighting, making you doubt your own reality and truth. That's the key right there. They want you to doubt yourself. Anytime you're around a person and they start to say things to you like, trying to think of a good example. You think you're a hot shot. Or, I'm trying to think of a good one. Let's say you're in high school and you're getting really good grades in your classes. Your dad, like your narcissist dad, might say, well, you're doing all right at this high school, but in the scope of things, throughout society, you're just average. Or you're something like that. And that's purposely done to make you doubt yourself. In fact, cults thrive on this. They feed on it like a bunch of piranhas. 3, stonewalling, refusing to communicate or shutting down. Especially when you call them out on their stuff. Which is actually If you know a lot about these kind of folks, man, it's just, you're wasting your time. 4, triangulation, bringing a third person into the dynamic to create jealousy or insecurity. I mean, honestly, it could be a lot of things. It could be just gossiping about someone. It could be a husband that sees his wife as a really good lady friend, and then he starts to talk badly about his wife to the lady friend. And now the wife doesn't have that good friend anymore. So it could just be a lot of things. Some of these therapists need to study a little more, but I mean, that's a good start. 5, love bombing and devaluation. Over-the-top affection followed by sudden criticism and rejection. Yeah. 6, projection, accusing you of the very things they are guilty of. Yeah, I always like to use the whole "you're cheating on me" example, because that's so easy, you know. Silent treatment is emotionally abusive, is used as a control tactic, confuses the victim, causes anxiety for the victim, crushes a victim's self-esteem. And that's the goal, you guys. They want you to have no self-esteem. I would say, like a lot of abusive husbands, or it could be a wife, they want you to gain weight, they want you to stop putting makeup on, or whatever it is that helps your self-confidence. Maybe you like to work out a lot. Maybe as a man, you like to go out hunting with your friends. The narcissist is going to do everything in their power to stop you from doing anything that gives you joy or gives you any type of self-esteem. So it could be looks, it could be painting, it could be going to the gym, it could be hiking out in nature, it could be whatever. But they slowly but surely want to cut off all of that. I would say go check out Michelle Nieves. She really talks about that a lot. It's really good, good stuff that she talks about. Silent treatment is a form of manipulation. Yep. Okay, this is off topic, but I really want to go in today. Signs of narcissistic collapse: impulsive behaviors, going out and buying a bunch of stuff, or getting into an argument with his wife because his wife is like really tired of the baloney, and then he just jumps in the car and disappears for 3 days. Depression. And also too, with, this is my opinion, I think narcissist or any type of antagonistic person, I learned that from Dr. Romani, any type of antagonistic person, when they're depressed, it's because they can't get what they want from you, or people are learning the real truth about them. That's why they get depressed. They get depressed that the narrative is no longer, it's not adding up to people. Mental breakdowns. That's also a classic one too. Did you guys see the very famous YouTuber who just had a complete meltdown on camera? I think there's a lot more to that one, but typical. Anger, outbursts, and rage. I would say rage all day, every day. You guys, that is like one of the biggest, I would say, manipulation tactics, but it's also something to be afraid of. Self-harm behaviors, making accusations. Yeah, she did this, you did that, blah, blah, blah. Stonewalling. They are notorious for not dealing with something. Suddenly ending a relationship. I also think, too, that this is where a lot of really violent crimes happen. It's sad. If it's like, because the narcissist thinks of their wife or their husband as an extension of themselves, or children, the way their sick brain works is that if I can't have her, nobody can have her. And you hear about the narcissist, I think more psychopath, they wind up taking out their wife and their children. I think it's a little further than narcissism, but my personal opinion is that a psychopath cannot exist without narcissism. But psychopaths, that's a whole different ballgame. Baiting, they love to bait. They love to bait. And I would say, talking about narcissistic tools, we could talk all day long about the tools used to bait people. Whether, I would suggest going to watch that series that a friend of mine told me about, is Dear John. Go watch that. That was all baiting with the phone app dating. Something to be really careful of, because that's how these guys or women lure in their victims. Stonewalling. Passive-aggressive behavior, like the silent treatment. One-word answers. Oh man, we've all been there. Refusing to engage. Yeah. I won't talk to you. Well, I can't read it. Well, you're belligerent. Body language that seems angry, resentful, or hostile. Yeah, and that's something to be careful of too. Because that can mean violence is coming. Scaremongering, attempt to elicit fear, anxiety, or paranoia. Yep. Have you guys ever seen these Billy badass men? They're like 6 foot tall, 6'5", 250 pounds, maybe 260 pounds, and they purposely jump in front of their kids or their wife to just scare them. Because they never choose an equal to bully. Never. It just reminds me of that. Guilt trips. Yeah, that's all they do. Attempts to elicit sympathy in order to hook you into a caretaker savior role. Facts. I remember a few years ago when I was getting ready to go dating again, I learned this funny phrase that some of the more mature women talk about when they talk about dating. It kind of made me laugh. He's either, basically just be careful, because a lot of men just need a nurse or a purse. I thought that was funny. But, it's all in there. Caretaker nurse, yep. False accusations. Falsely accusing you of something to get a reaction out of you, yep. Can also involve smear campaigns, yeah. I personally think that there should be more accountability for people just going and smearing people all over the internet. I do think people need to be held accountable. I mean, if you're speaking in the truth, that's a little bit different. But the narcissists, they just go crazy and they'll just say all kinds of things about people that's never going to be verified because it's a lie. And I do believe in freedom of speech, but it just seems like there should be some repercussions. False hope. Fake promises used to manipulate you into doing what they want. Subtype of hoovering. Yeah, oh my God. Well, we know the cults do that all day, every day. Intrigue or doubt. Vague or limited information that triggers anxiety, intrigue, or a sense of doubt. They love to have you doubting yourself. They love to have you feeling bad about yourself, that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not whatever enough. That's what they feel inside. Triggering emotional responses. Using your vulnerabilities and emotional triggers to project, shift blame, gaslight, invalidate, or manipulate you. Yeah, like pushing your buttons. Ways narcissistic abuse is a strategy. Let's see if I can get a little more than the magic 20 on this one. Oh, always. Well, at least on this, it doesn't stop my video. Ways narcissistic abuse is a strategy to gain control. Yep. That's what they live for. I think, like, when they wake up in the morning or whenever they wake up, that's all that they live for, is controlling other people. Controlling animals, controlling people in whatever ways that they can. To weaken self-esteem. Yep, I've been talking about that. To isolate. Yep. Cuts the victim off from support systems. Yep. Cults always do this every day. Seems like the last 6 years, governing agencies were doing that to citizens, but, you know, I'm the crazy one, right? To avoid accountability, shifts blame and keeps focus off the narcissist. Yep. It's when everybody's talking about distraction, distraction, distraction. I personally think a lot of these so-called news stories, which I don't watch, are a distraction from the truth. Because mind control, narcissism, psychopathy, it all works in the same way. You know, it's all similar about controlling. To maintain power, yep. Keep the narcissist in a dominant position, yep. And that's also, too, why they'll never go up against somebody their own size, you know, has the same bank account, whatever it is. They need somebody less, you know, in our weird hierarchical system, to be lesser than them. And then also to keep supply. That's all they care about, is their supply and their controlling. Telltale signs of narcissism, entitled. I was around this person not long ago, always entitled. She deserved a better job just because she was she. She was her. I mean, I just use that job as an example. It's just like, she deserves more money, and I'm like asking her, well, why? And I mean, it's just crazy. The stuff that they say is so nuts to me. Needs and demands attention and supply, yeah. Like posting 5 to 6 selfies of yourself every single day on social media. That might cut it. Prone to jealousy, yep. And people that are like this, that are always jealous, it's because they don't believe in themselves inside. So that's why they focus on someone else. And I've been jealous, you know, a lot of times, but it's like when you go out of your way to hurt another person, that's when it goes to the next level. Needs to be right. We've all been around that. I'm so glad I don't deal with that anymore. Never apologizes unless it benefits them. Yep. I mean, and that could be a whole nother video on fake apologies. I mean, it just goes on and on. You even see it sometimes in the news or like on law shows, where a person that either abused a little child, or maybe they murked someone and were violent, and they did these just horrific things, and they get on there and try to act like they have remorse and that, and you could just tell it's a big story, because nobody that would commit such a heinous, extra violent crime would ever be remorseful. I'm not saying nobody would, but like in these cases, I don't think it's fake. It's fake. It just feels fake. Manipulative. Yep. All day, every day. Lies. Yep. They lie without even thinking twice about it. And I think some are better than others. It's kind of scary when you see it. Emotionally immature. Yeah, like the teenager that never grows up. It's weird. It's weird watching it when you see like somebody who's in their 40s or 50s and they're acting like a teenager. Not somebody that's just having fun, you know, and out having a good time. Literally conducting themselves in their life as if they are a teenager. It's scary to me. Always plays the victim. Yep. Lacks self-awareness and ability to grow. Yeah, like a perpetual teenager. Inability to accept no for an answer and always needs to have their way. Yep. Never takes responsibility and always puts the blame on someone else. Yep. I think they call that blame shifting. And, you know, we're still talking about tools here, but, you know, sometimes people just word it in a different way. 9 ways a narcissist gains narcissistic supply. 1, dominating and controlling others. You know, and like the girl that stole the woman that stole the other lady's passport, that was the tool, you know, to dominate. 2, receiving constant attention, you know, like posting 5 or 6 videos a day of you half naked because you need attention so badly and you're 55 or 56 years old or whatever it is. I mean, that's it. You can't live unless you're getting all this attention. I can't stand it anymore. Compliments and praise. And, you know, social media is not the only place. 3, being aggressive and abusive. That's a good sign right there. 4, being intentionally negative. That's kind of a weird one. Okay, 5, exploiting others. Yeah, that's Narc 101, Cult 101. 6, using addictive substances. Yep. And I've heard Dr. Ramani talk about narcissists that have substance issues. You know, I don't know, it's interesting because obviously not everyone that has any type of substance issue is a narcissist. It reminds me of some of those gym guys that do the what's that? Steroids. 7, feeling powerful. Yep. 8, sex. 9, feeding off of others' emotional energy. Yeah, nothing they love more is to make people cry. Oh my God. And if you watch them closely, watch their face. Like, it's like they feel like they have dominated and controlled you. And a lot of times they'll be smirking when you're crying. It's freaking creepy. Oh boy. Why the narcissist hates you. I don't know why I thought I could read all this stuff. You are a reminder. Narcissists may act delusional, but they know what they are doing. Yep. You are a reminder of who the narcissist is in real life. Yep. Not the fake world. Yep. And image they create. Yeah, that's their narrative. No matter what carefully curated falseness they present to the world, the narcissist knows the truth. Facts. I mean, go look at some of these social media accounts, man. Not just, and I think it's on YouTube as well. I think now YouTube is just inundated with it. When you try to confront a narcissist about issues, they will hate it. Yep. Oh, they hate it. If you ask a question, they will become frustrated. They don't have to answer to you. They do not want to resolve conflict. I often wonder if they even understand what it is, you know what I mean? The narcissists hate their victims' genuineness. Facts. Narcissists frequently wear a mask. I think they always do. This is also why you didn't see their true character at the beginning of your connection. Yeah, too, and the beginning oftentimes is when they're love bombing the crap out of you. And it can be a job, too. Been there, done that. It can be anywhere. The same type of behavior happens when the narcissist is a parent, friend or coworker, boss, organization, or institution. You might have had moments when the connection did not seem so bad, but overall, there was still a steady undercurrent of discomfort. Yeah, it's like you feel it. There's something that you feel. You're not really sure what it is. They hate boundaries. Yep. In fact, if you tell them, you know, I use the one, you know, don't call me past 8 o'clock, or they'll make sure they call you at 9. Like they have to. Now it's a challenge. Can't tell them what to do. They hate boundaries. Narcissists see boundaries as limitations, yep. They want to be the ones calling the shots, facts, and setting the limits, facts. Narcs want full access to you in every way, yep. They will not give you full access to them, facts. When you establish a clear and firm boundary, it is healthy for you. The narcissist will hate it, yep. I sure thought I could read this stuff. Narcissists hate not getting their way. Oh, they can't stand. That's when you guys see them losing it, when they're not getting their way. Like a 2-year-old toddler on the floor, holding their breath, screaming. Narcissists are very crafty manipulators. They may use their previous trauma as an excuse for their actions, yeah. Like I was abused as a child. That's a good one. Because they do use that one a lot. Or like when they start to get called out on their behavior, they often will use like, well, I was abused or this happened to me as a child. And that's terrible. I mean, it's horrible that they went through these things. But that's going to be like their excuse for abusing you. It's crazy to me. Or it might not be an excuse. It might just be like a distraction. You know what I mean? Their previous trauma is used to justify their toxic behaviors. Yep. Some narcissists share difficult traumatic experiences to manipulate their victims into doing whatever they want. Yep. As long as the narcissist is recovering what they want, it is fine. When they are not getting their way, they become agitated. Yep. Narcissists hate being held accountable. Narcissists look for someone else to blame. Yep. They avoid accountability at every opportunity. From the narc's point of view, the problems are never their fault. Never. If you guys get a chance, go check out Gideon. Gideon, who goes and busts perps, the P to the file. And every once in a while, he'll get people that will admit what they've done and they know it's wrong and all that. But watch the ones who lie and lie and lie. It's exactly the same. Whatever the problem is, they are not responsible. I didn't know how old she was. I thought she was 18. I mean, it just goes on and on. Victims of narcissistic abuse often become the narcissist's scapegoats. Yep, it's always your fault. I think like the scapegoat, or sometimes called the black sheep, if the black sheep or the scapegoat does not get away from that family, you will often see them looking really haggard and scrawny. They might be real skinny and just stressed out all the time. Narcissist hate is fueled by insecurity. Facts. Like somebody who's 55 or 56 years old posting half-naked pictures of themselves doing, what is that called? Like no shade to strippers, but like the stripper dance and stuff. It reminds me of Madonna, but I don't even want to get into that. No matter how amazing narcissists try to appear to the outside world, inside they are deeply insecure. Yep. This intense lack of confidence makes them more defensive. Narcissists do not really believe their own hype. They know who they are. Yep. And they hope for other people will never find out. Yep. Narcissists hate they cannot control you. Yeah. And I would say the perpetual victim narcissist too. They hate it. When you get sick of hearing their sob-ass stories over and over and over, and they're not doing anything about it, it doesn't mean you can't have compassion and empathy, but after a while it gets old. And then you just realize it's a con, Narcissists hate they can't control you. As victims and survivors gain more clarity, confidence, and courage, and closure, they cannot be controlled by the narcissist. This upsets the narcissist very much. Yeah, it's when they rage out. Narcissists tend to engage in the cycle of narcissistic abuse. The toxic manipulative cycle makes it hard for victims. Yep. Signs, I'm going all over the place, you guys. I just want to touch on this. Signs of covert narcissism. I think sometimes they're called vulnerable. Passive self-importance. Yeah, like they let everybody know how important and great they are and smart and whatever it is. But they do it kind of like a little more down low, like a grandiose will be all in your face, but covert, they're kind of relaxed about all of it. Giving with a goal. Oh, like that's, to me, that's the virtue signaling. Yeah, they're going to give or they're going to help someone, but you better know that you're going to owe them for the rest of your life, forever, until you die. Blaming and shaming. Yep. Emotional neglect. It reminds me of the husband or the wife that comes home and wants some affection from their partner, and then they just don't give them anything. It's sad. And I think that's so damaging to people. You know, whether it's the husband or the wife, it's just so hurtful. Creating confusion. Yeah. Oh, they love it. They love it. They love it. They love it. And victim mentality. Yep. And I think there can be narcissists that have covert and overt tactics, ways of being. S abuse. S abuse is when a partner controls the physical, and S intimacy in a relationship. This often involves acting in a way that is non-consensual and forced. Yeah. Which, for anyone who did not know, that is RAPE. How many weird news stories have you guys seen that forced S? There's no such thing as forced S with a child. Period. End of story. You might be experiencing S abuse if your partner has or repeatedly does any of the following. Make you dress in an S way you're not comfortable with, or you're uncomfortable with. Insult you in S ways or call you explicit names. Yeah. And they'll make you do things that you don't want to do. That's just for starters. Financial abuse. And that would be the tool right there, right? The tool, they're going to take your checkbook from you. I mean, I know that's old school. Checkbook, they're going to take all your credit cards. They're going to make sure you have no way to pay for things. Oh, they love this. They love this so much. Cults love to do it as well. Economic abuse occurs when an abusive partner, or a cult, or whomever it is, extends their power and control into your financial situation. Like, have your paycheck deposited into their account. I mean, that's just for starters. I think a lot of very narcissistic parents or grandparents love to hold people, like the estate and the wills, over people's heads. They do it all the time. Below are ways to identify the different types of abuse in your relationship pertaining to financial abuse. Providing an allowance and closely monitoring how you spend it, or putting you on a budget. I mean, budgeting's a good thing, but they'll make sure you're only allowed $10 per week for this. It's insane. Including demanding receipts for purchases. There you go. That's like budgeting. I mean, similar. And I think budgeting's a good thing, but it can be abused. Depositing your paycheck into an account you can't access. Well, there you go. How many stories have we heard from kids that their parents or their mom made them do that? They'd be working at Taco Bell for like very little money, and they didn't even get to see their money. I mean, it's sickening. Preventing you from viewing or accessing bank accounts. There you go. So you guys, I hope that you found this beneficial. I was just in the mood to talk about this, and I think tools are really important to talk about. And I'm starting to feel better, which is nice. So you guys have an amazing day. Peace.